Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5. I'm going to try to make this a fast video. I want you to know that I don't enjoy this video, but I feel it needs to be said. Let's talk Trump, let's talk his ad campaign, and let's talk about the things that disturb me about it. I don't like the similarities between his ad campaign and Adolf Hitler's ad campaign. I'm going to straight out say it. Now, I'm going to encourage you, if you consider yourself conservative, if you consider yourself American, if you consider yourself, those things, but you support Donald Trump, listen to me. I promise you I won't drag his name through the dirt any more than he hasn't already done. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to try to make this video less than 15 minutes, so let's get started. Yes, Donald Trump's ad campaign and Adolf Hitler's ad campaign are very, very, very similar. They talk about bringing back the country back to its former glory, make our country great again. That was exactly Adolf Hitler's campaign, and that normally wouldn't cause a red flag for me, because I want America to be great. But it's when Donald Trump separates out ethnicity and has these broad negative stereotypes pouring out of his mouth about this ethnicity, then adds that along with the make our country great again. That's when it starts getting close to Hitler. And, you know, who knows, he might not be a next Hitler, but it's too close, in my opinion. This wall he's talking about. What is his problem with Mexico? He talks about how they're shipping their undesirables here. That they're shipping their lower rung of society to America and polluting America. He's saying that they're pedophiles, drug dealers, criminals. This isn't the case. 99% of the people crossing border illegally are just families wanting the American dream, wanting to change their life for the better. And I know this for a fact. I've worked with a lot of Hispanic people. I've talked with a lot of Hispanic people. I'm friends with a lot of Hispanic people. And I know at least one family where the father quit his job as a lawyer, went to college in Mexico, became a lawyer, quit his job as a lawyer, moved to Texas, now works as a mechanic at Walmart, so his family would have a better opportunity and can pursue their dreams. That's deep. I don't know how much he was making as a lawyer in Mexico and as opposed to working as a mechanic at Walmart, but that's deep. And I want to say this. I've had very, very few problems with Hispanic people. I consider them Texan and American. I rarely use the term Mexican anymore. I might say it to describe some of my friends who are American or just as American as me. I might use it to describe their family who doesn't speak English, but they're American in my eyes. But I have very few problems with these people. They've never done anything bad to me. When I worked in retail at Academy, I've never once saw the stereotypical illegal immigrants. I don't know if they're legal or not, but they didn't speak English. I never seen them shoplift. I never seen them do anything shady. In fact, most of the shoplifters we came in contact with were my hue. They were the good old boys, the rednecks, the white trash, the people who you would think I would feel more comfortable with. And I'm not saying that I don't feel comfortable with white people. It's just I know a lot of these white people who feel comfortable with me, and I know their inner thoughts. And I know some Hispanic people, and they're comfortable with me, and I know their inner thoughts. And you know, you'll understand why I believe the stuff that I believe. Now let's talk about the wall. Name one democracy. Look, we're going to just say in Europe that has walls defining their borders. In recent history, at least. There isn't any of them. You can backpack your way through Europe. It's not a big issue. Now, in Europe, the last wall I can think of is the Iron Curtain from Eastern Germany and Western Germany, communist versus capitalist. And us conservatives hold Ronald Reagan in high esteem. He's not perfect, but he was the right man for the job at the time. He didn't like the wall. And to tell you the truth, most of the people living on the eastern half of the wall, the people who were not in political power, didn't like living there either. They didn't like living in communist Germany, Eastern Germany. I know this for a fact. As soon as communism fell, they were all running across the border, trying to get away from it, trying to cross the wall. And the thing about that wall is it promotes separatism and hatred. And so the wall was no good in Germany. I know some of you are going to bring this up. What about the Vatican walls? The walls that surround Vatican City. Vatican, the country of Vatican City, smallest country in the world, is not a democracy. It is a monarchy in the truest sense. It's an elected monarchy in a certain sense, but it is still a monarchy. It's a non-hereditary monarchy. So I really don't count them as the same as, Britain, France, Italy, Spain, Scotland. I don't really consider them the same group. And I'm not hating on Vatican City at all. I want to make that clear. It's just they're a monarchy. But consider this. Texas, who has the largest border with Mexico, doesn't have a big problem with Mexico. We were a cruise state. And, most of us would rather not have the wall. Two of the most conservative states in the Union, Texas and Alaska, both super conservative, both the biggest states in the Union, although not by populist with Alaska. Two of has the reputation toughest places of being badass. Don't like Donald Trump. And that's not a reason not to like him, but it's an interesting talking point. I gotta admit, there is a difference between Adolf Hitler and Donald Trump. Adolf Hitler promised his country that they will all be driving Volkswagen Bugs or Volkswagen vehicles. He did, and I haven't seen Donald Trump make a promise like that yet. But other than that, their campaign slogan are identical, and it disturbs me. America is about having the opportunity to better yourself, no matter where you come from. I'm technically an illegal immigrant. Far as my heritage is concerned, I'm not Native American. I'm not Indian. I have a little bit of Indian blood in me, but not enough to count for anything. My family came here for opportunity. The Mexican people who are wanting to become Americans are doing it for the exact same reason. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have any border patrol, immigration laws, period. We should still have some laws and stuff like that. I want all the Hispanic people who are looking to move into America, I want them to do it legally. But I don't blame them a bit for wanting to get here. And if they don't have the opportunity to do it legally, if I was in Mexico, I didn't have the opportunity to do it legally, I would do it illegally. I would do it. I don't blame them a bit. And the Hispanic people are really kind. If you spend the time to talk to them, they will adopt you as their own, your family. My friend, the Native American guy from the tribe of Mexico, who's in my Arkansas videos, if you look on my Facebook, he is labeled as my brother, and I believe it with every fiber of my belief. Not by law, not by blood, but he is my brother. He is a Texan and he's American. I'll argue that to the death. Yes, I don't like these general negative stereotypes, this promotion of ignorance that Donald Trump is pushing. I don't trust him. I don't trust him as far as I can throw Rosie O'Donnell. And the only reason why I would vote for him in the coming presidential elections is because I feel he'll be easier to impeach than Hillary Clinton. That's the only reason. My conservative, my American brothers and sisters, I'm talking to you. I want to have this discussion with you. I plead with you. Do your research. Use critical thinking. Critical thinking is what they teach you in college. It's something they should teach in public school, but think about all of the angles. And ask yourself, is Donald Trump doing this to better America? Is he doing it to better himself? Is he looking out for himself, or is he looking out for America? Why is he making the promises that he's making? What are the effects of these promises that he's making? I really don't see him as being a pro-American guy. He claims to be, but he doesn't embody the American spirit that I believe Americans should have. I believe he's a nativist. He's proud to be in the country that he's in. He's pro the area that he inhabits, just like the people in New York. They were pro natives of New York, but they hated the Irish, and for no good reason. And the Irish did nothing. The Irish at the time were treated just like the blacks in the 50s and the early 60s, if not worse. I'm not going to say if not worse. They were about the same. It was pure hatred. And I believe that Donald Trump is just like those nativists, I can't say the word, in New York City in the 19th century and before. He's kind of in the same boat as them, in my opinion. And keep in mind, this is my opinion, my beliefs, and this is a discussion. Feel free, if you are pro-Donald Trump, if you're pro-wall, to leave a comment. I ask that you keep it respectful in the same way that I kept my comments respectful. I just think, I know that you're tired of the left. You're desperate. But I don't think Donald Trump is the answer. That's it. I'm a Satsi 5, and I'm out.